quick mini masterclass on how to maximize events, because I know oftentimes we participate with all types of opportunities, but we may be leaving money on the table because we're not fully maximizing that opportunity. And so when it comes to event speaking, whether you're participating as a panelist, whether you're even speaking virtually or anything where you'll be speaking, you always want to make sure that there's a way for you to collect the emails of those who hear you. So that should always be at the top of your mind when you're planning to speak at a virtual event or in-person event, is how can I get all of these people that are hearing me and engaging with me to sign up for my email list? How can I capture their emails? And so one way would be, to have a freebie that you offer them that they can go ahead and get in real time if they visit, theglamceo.com. You can register for my free visibility workshop that I'll be hosting this month. Like, that might be a call to action because it's something free. They'll go ahead and join right away. And then I have their email so that I can nurture those connections and turn them into actual paying clients down the road. So that's one thought when it's, an in-person event or even a virtual event, but having like a call to action that allows them to sign up for something without an investment. And then another option, especially if you're, investing in a speaking opportunity or it's an unpaid opportunity, is to find a way to get people in real time to sign up for something that you're offering. And so it needs to be like an irresistible offer that they can sign up right away before the event ends, before you finish speaking or something like that, for a significant discount. For example, when I was speaking, I was booked to speak in Tulum, Mexico in 2022. And there was a guy there that was speaking on how to start an Airbnb business. And he shared so much information. I remember I was taking notes for days, like, oh my gosh, like he really gave so much information. And then at the end of that, he said, I actually have a course that's $997, but if you register today while we're here at the conference, you can get it for half off, $497. Simply text 12345 to register at that discounted rate. I saw in real time everybody in the room hopping on their phones and texting to get this man's class because he shares so much value that that his class is going to fill in all the other gaps. And people were signing up left and right. So I knew for sure that in that moment, at least 10 people signed up for that $500 class. That's $5,000 that he made in 45 minutes. So having, the key to that though is that your speaking has to be compelling. So that only works if your speaking is compelling. If your speaking is not compelling to people, if you are long-winded, and if you're not capturing people in that moment, that won't work. It only works if you are a very effective, compelling speaker. Then people want to buy what you have to sell because you share so much value. They feel a sense of urgency. They want to know. They want to get half off right in the moment. And so it really works if you're a compelling speaker. Now, to be a compelling speaker, is very important that you go into a speaking engagement with the thought that, hey, there's something I want people to buy into for me, right? So as speakers, we like to talk, right? I know I do. I could talk someone under the ground and over the moon. However, when I'm speaking with intention, I don't do a lot of talking. I try not to be long-winded. I try to have specific talking points. I try to share something like 3 ways to get more visibility. So I keep myself on track and I'm compelling and sharing real information that people can use. So then if I say, I have a visibility masterclass, normally it's $1,000, but today, if you want to get it, it's $497 if you purchase it today. It would be the same thing that he did. You know what I mean? But you want to make sure that what you're doing is compelling. So there's 2 ways to do it. If you don't feel like you're a strong salesman on the stage, then offer something free that people can get if they sign up for your email list. If you feel confident that you are a compelling speaker, then you can discount something to $500 or half off for people to get in real time. So that's 1 or 2 ways to maximize a speaking opportunity. Another thing is when you're doing in-person events, even if you're not speaking, but you're coming to attend, I always encourage people to upgrade their business card. Like the little traditional business cards, no. We need a flyer, a 4x6 flyer that people will not lose and misplace, that has, a big offer on one side and your contact information on the other. It doesn't have a lot of words. It has your face and the big offer on one side and then their contact information on the other. That's way more effective when maximizing an event. whether you're speaking or not. I did that at an expo in Concord, North Carolina, and got a client that invested a great bit of money for me to publish her book, to market, all these things. And it came because I had a flyer that I gave her instead of a business card that she might misplace. So that's another way to maximize events. And then the follow-up, right? So anytime that I go to events, whether I'm speaking or not, I try to engage with as many people as possible. I try to get as many business cards and flyers as possible. So I go to every single vendor, introduce myself, get a flyer. People at the event, I'm talking, networking, and I'm collecting as many as possible so that I can have a flawless follow-up. Now, a follow-up that's flawless means that you take the business card that someone gave you, you go to their Instagram and see what they do, and then you come up with something for them that's going to add value and then increase y'all's connection. You're not going to sell them right away unless it makes sense to sell them. But you're going to do something like, if I met Lisa and I did not know Lisa and I got her card that says she helps with money management, I'm like, okay, how can I offer some value to her that's beneficial to my tribe as well? So then I might say, hey, Lisa, would you like to go on Instagram Live together and share 5 ways to increase your finances? Lisa's likely going to say, absolutely, right? So even something that's just proposing an Instagram Live, that's an easy way to build a connection with a person, and then that could turn into a client, a partner, or something else. So if you want to keep it simple, propose the IG Live to every single person you meet at the event. That's going to build y'all's connection face to face, help you all market to each other's network. It's mutually beneficial. You never know. They might be a client of yours. You might become a client of them. You might partner on something else. So that's what I call a flawless follow-up. Gone are the days where we send an email and say, hey, let's hop on a call and see da-da-da, because people don't have time for that. You know, I get those proposals quite often where people want to hop on a call to see if there's any synergy. And it's like, I would love to, but I just don't have the time, right? Unless I book a call with you. Like I booked a call with Lisa because I'm interested in her services. That's different. But when people that I'm not familiar with, that I don't know, or that I met an event, want to hop on a call to discuss, I don't have time. But if they propose the Instagram Live, I will make the time, because now I'm doing a marketing effort to my network and their network. Does that make sense, ladies?
No, yeah,
Yes,
I think
it
that's a good
does.
idea.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's kind of what you did with me when we did our IG Live the other week. And I really like that. I mean, you might not get a lot of people watching it first, but even a Facebook Live, because I don't know, with Facebook, you can see the lives on their page, but I don't know about IG. Does it stay on the page?
Yes, it does. You can share it on the page. And you can also, if you do an IG Live with someone, I would recommend that before you post it, you add a professional flyer as the cover image of your IG Live. So I would recommend that to keep your Instagram page clean. Before you post the IG Live, add a cover image of some sort, even if it's a motivational quote, but just something to keep your page clean. You can also invite the person as a collaborator. So now it automatically shows up on their page as well. That's another way to maximize that. So, yeah. I feel like this should be an actual masterclass, that like a full length masterclass. I feel like this should be a full length masterclass actually, as I'm talking.
Well, yeah, for IG for sure, because I'm not very familiar with IG. I don't know those little tricks and things that you just said. Never heard of it, and I don't even know how to put a flyer on IG. So yeah, a masterclass would be great.
Yeah. So I will say, for those who are listening to the recording, if you feel like this is valuable, but you need more specific one-on-one guidance, I do offer one-on-one coaching calls. I do offer that. And the members, you have a member code to get half off of that one-on-one call with me, or really half off of anything on my site. So, at least if you want to do a one-on-one where I walk you through all that, we definitely can. Another tip I want to share, we're talking about maximizing events, because many of you are either speaking, you who are catching the replay are either speaking at an event that I have coming up, or you're a member of the Glambitious Power Circle and you speak every week in my Facebook group. So this is very valuable to whoever's catching this replay. I talked about having a call to action that collects emails, whether it's a freebie or a sale. I talked about having a flawless follow-up. So if you're doing a virtual speaking engagement, or if you're speaking inside of my Facebook group, right, you want to prompt people to engage with you. So while you're speaking, like I always say something like, comment visibility, because that's my thing. I teach people about visibility. So I'll say comment visibility if this is your best year, if you're going to make this year your best year, then everybody comments. Now, what that does when you're in a Facebook group and you get people to comment, you can now follow up with them and build dialogue and build connection. So this is the virtual way to do this. If you're speaking inside the Glambitious Facebook group as a member, encourage people to comment. If you're catching the replay, comment replay. That's another way to do it. And then people will be like, replay. And Lisa, you're really good at that. I love that you engage with other speakers and you always comment replay. I appreciate that engagement. So it's a great idea when you're speaking to say, hey, also, if you're catching the replay, comment replay, so that you can build with people in the comments. So if someone comments replay, then you can follow up and say, hey, tell me a little bit more about your business. Like you can build conversation in that. Okay, well, check out my free resource that, you can build connection so people feel like they're getting to know you. Because in this season, people typically spend money with people they trust, because everyone does everything. Everyone does what I do. Everyone does what Lisa does, what Pamela does. Everybody does everything. But people spend money with people that they trust and people who bring value. So that's why I build, doing this flawless follow-up, whether it's a virtual event, that will take my earring out, or in-person event, is really going to help you build lasting connections and partnerships and clients that way. Any questions, ladies?
I have a question about like the group, for instance. Like going live every week or speaking every week. What is kind of the guidelines for, just say, if you're presenting the same offer, for several months or something like that?
That's a great question. So you want to break down your offer into talking points, and each week do a talking point on that offer. Okay. So that's a great question. So each week do a talking point on that offer. So you don't have to speak for long. It can be short and sweet if you want. You can also hop on just to talk to people. So it doesn't have to always be a formal presentation. So for those of you who are catching the replay, I do have the Glambitious Power Circle membership, and it includes the opportunity to go live inside of my Facebook group every week, because I have 2,000 women in there who are active, and every week you can engage them, promote your business, network, etc. So that's what the question is about if you're catching the replay. And so, yes, if you have an offer, like one particular offer, break it into talking points and then talk on that, the value of that point each week. Or you can hop on to do a check-in, like a Women of Faith check-in for you specifically, because I know your brand is about faith, right? Women of Faith check-in, hey, everyone, I'm just hopping in to see how's your week going. Let's talk, how's your week going? If you had any challenges, Psalms 91 is a great verse to hold close to you, right? So 1 week you could speak and present, 1 week you can speak and inspire, right? Another week you can actually just pray. Like, hey, I wanted to hop in here and pray over you all. I know that being kingdom entrepreneurs is a challenge, so I just want to pray. Let us pray. And that is just getting people familiar with you, getting them comfortable with you, letting them see you consistently. And then, anytime you go live, whether you're praying, whether you're doing a check-in, whether you're presenting and speaking like a particular message, just always include the call to action in the description to join my Woman of Faith devotional collaboration. Visit PamelaDSmith.net. So you can always keep that exact call to action in the description, no matter what type of live that you do, but get as creative as you want. The membership allows specifically going live, because I want people to have real connections with people. So that's why I discourage posting flyers or, posting quotes or any of that, because that doesn't engage people. What engages people is them seeing you like you guys are seeing me. Like, there's a reason that I cut my camera on, because typically I like to keep my camera off. Y'all, I've been snacking and my cheeks just, they showing out this season.
Yeah, me too. I can turn my camera on now. I was in the car
No
while
pressure.
ago.
You don't have to. No, I don't want to pressure you.
Because I normally do too.
Listen, I'm not saying this to pressure you. You can keep your camera off, but I'm saying it to share why my camera's on, is that I want the ladies that catch this replay to see me. Like, I'm a real person, like I want you to know me and get to know my mannerisms and my personalities. You can trust me to help you with your business further beyond the membership, beyond speaking at the live event. So that's why, I turn my camera on, even though I be looking like, ooh, girl, you got to get in the gym. Immediately.
Yeah, me too. I was saying the same thing the other day.
Was that helpful?
I did a photo shoot, and when I saw those pictures, I was like, "Oh my God, my face like."
Exactly. I just did a photo shoot in Charlotte a week ago, and I could not believe how you see yourself every day is different than when a picture, you look back at that picture. And so every morning now I'm doing Taebo every morning into these cheeks. Pamela, was that helpful? Some of the tips I shared for going live?
Absolutely, it was. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Miss Lisa, did you have any questions I can answer as far as like maximizing speaking opportunities?
No, I know when you had said, like, if I'm speaking, I get a lot of invitations to speak on virtual conferences. And virtually, it's kind of hard to see who's attending, especially inside of the groups. How do I get their email information? Like, I guess maybe ask the organizer and see if that's part of the speaking package.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. You get what you negotiate. So if someone is reaching out to you to speak, then you have some negotiation power because they're reaching out to you. You know what I mean? And so I would definitely negotiate receiving the contact emails of all guests as a part of, your participation. I literally just did that today. I was invited to be a masterclass presenter for a series called Charge Your Worth in June. And so they could not, they didn't have the budget for my standard rate. And this is a virtual thing. So they didn't have the budget for that. So I discounted it, but I added some other value that would support my business, like me getting their the contact emails of everyone that register. So yes, definitely ask that if they reach out to you for a virtual event, ask to receive the contact emails of all registrants within 48 hours of the event ending. And then when you're doing something like Facebook, again, your best bet is to have a call to action that makes people put in their email addresses. Like, I don't know, like I know you mentioned a website just now, bit.ly money matters. Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's my calendar. bit.ly.com/money moment. That's my calendar. That's not well, I guess, they have to put in their email on my calendar too, I think. Yeah.
When they visit your website, is there a pop-up that?
It's not a pop-up. No, it ain't no pop-up. I'm actually doing a new website, so that is something I want to add, whether you have the pop-up when it first open up.
Right.
So I can offer them my ebook.
Yes.
But it don't have that right now. So I'm trying to figure out how to add that in.
Okay. So yeah, that would be a way to capture emails is like, hey, visit lisabailey.com and put your email in to get my free ebook. That's a great way to capture emails for a virtual event or even if you're on stage. Now, I will say, when you're sharing the bit.ly link, make sure that you say bit.ly, because that is like if they type it in how you said it, it won't come up. So you have to say it's bit.ly/money matters, because I put it in here because I was thinking, I think there's a dot in there.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Money moments.
Money moments. Money matters. Bit.ly.
It's money moment.
Okay, hold on.
But yeah, you're right. I just put it in. It's bit.ly.
So yeah.
Gotcha.
Wait.
Interesting. So I'm not very good on the technological stuff.
It's okay.
Just gives me a headache.
Is something case sensitive at all with the link?
No. Oh, well, I always use lowercase.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you have to.
I had brought it up and now I can't bring it up. So give it to me one more time.
It's it's bit.ly / or .com. It might be bit.ly.com / money moment. That's what I'll be putting on my post.
Okay. So there's no .com in it. So
it's no .com.
It's
okay, so it's just
.ly / money moment.
Okay.
So you have to say it like that or it won't even come up for people. This is what I would suggest though. I discourage bit.ly links because it's hard to convey and it's case sensitive. What I would recommend is going and just reserving a domain name like moneymoments.com and then pointing that domain name to your Calendly link. That's what I do. That way, let's just say that Money Matters is available. I mean, it's probably not, but let's just say. Then when you're on stage, when you're speaking, it's easier to say, hey, visit moneymatters.com to get on my calendar and let's discuss. That's way easier than bit.ly / no one's going to process that and it's not likely they're going to figure it out. And then if they get the dot off or any of that, they don't even get to connect. So that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
You can get, like a domain name that makes sense for your brand is usually $10 for a year. And then that way you have something simple to convey. And this is a tip for everyone catching the replay as well. When you're conveying any information as a speaker on a podcast or anything that's audible, you have to keep it simple. If you direct people to many different places, if you give them a complicated name or anything like that, you miss the moment. Now, my brand is called Glambitious. That's a bit of a complicated name, honestly. And so what I did was I realized, man, when people type in Glambitious, they might misspell it because it's not a real word, right? So what I did was I created a simple website, theglamceo.com. I created another simple website, visibilityforme.com, because it's not likely someone's going to misspell visibilityforme.com. But if I give them Glambitious, they can spell it several different ways and I missed the connection. So as speakers, we definitely want to make things simple and don't direct people too many places. Don't say, hey, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snap. Don't give them all that directive. Give them 2 tops, 1 or 2 directives at the end of your speech, at the end of your podcast. And I know it's our nature to share it all, but you have to think about listeners with a short attention span. They are not going to remember our Twitter, our Facebook, our Instagram, our Snapchat, our website. Sign up for this, go do this. I also offer this. Here's another tip, and this is for those catching the replay. We're all multi-passionate and we're all offering many different things and operating usually in many different businesses. But you have to be strategic when you're speaking to decide what you're going to promote in that one. Don't mention everything else you do, right? Like me, I do a lot. I'm a contributor for different magazines. I do photography as a hobby. I am a publicist. I am a coach. Like if I listed all the things, I would totally lose people when I'm speaking or when I'm doing a podcast. So I've decided that, hey, I'm focusing on visibility. That's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I'm going to lead with. The offer is going to be related to that. And if they want to follow me on Instagram, they can see everything else that I'm doing, but I'm going to lead with the one and not send them all over the place by saying, yeah, I bake cupcakes. I do this, I do that, I do that. And this is just a tip for those of you catching the replay, because I do want the Zooms that I host to not just be about networking, but for me to share value with you all as much as I can as well. Helpful, ladies?
That's good. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Any other questions since you are the dynamic duo that showed up tonight?
I have another one on speaking. Specifically on when you pay to speak. Because I've heard it 2 different ways. Some people discourage it, some encourage it. But when you're paying to speak, would you say it's more beneficial if you actually have an offer that may exceed whatever that fee is that you're paying? Or is it okay to have like lower priced offers? That, just say if you paid $1,500 to speak, but you only have an offer that's $500.
Yeah, so that's a great question because my platform and my events, women do make an investment to participate in my platform. So the way that I've created is I'm creating a platform to amplify women speakers and to connect them to clients and partners. And so that's why there is that investment. So that's a great question that you asked. I'm glad you asked it because a lot of the ladies catching the replay have invested to speak. So if you pay $1,500 to speak, it's okay to have a $500 offer because you only need 3 people to even the score, right? And then after evening the score, you want to have the contact emails to nurture the rest of the people to become clients as well. So for me, I would think, it's okay to have a lower offer with the goal of getting more people to sign up. It's not likely that if it's my first time seeing you and you have a $1,500 offer that I'm going to invest $1,500 after one time of hearing you speak. That's not likely, right? It's far more likely that $497 or anything below that is far more likely, right? So with that being said, it's very much okay to have a lower ticket offer with the goal of bringing in more people to sign up for it. And I definitely think anything $497 or less would be a good place to start. You just want to, again, make sure that when you're speaking, your speaking should be building a compelling argument for why they need to invest in you without people knowing that, because people don't like to be sold to. So I don't want to hear you speak on buy for me, buy for me, buy for me. I don't want to hear that, but I do want to hear so much value and compelling, dialogue that it's like, I really do need to join her devotional this year for sure. Like, I really need to, like, you want them to leave saying, yeah, I really need to go ahead and do that. Let me sign up, or whatever the offer is. At the end of the day, you want people like, yeah, I really need to sign up like right now. That's your goal with the speaking. And so, yeah, it's very much okay to have a lower ticket offer to offer people. And then depending on the environment, well, I will say this. If you're investing $1,500 to speak, if you're investing anything over like a few $100s to speak, you definitely need to negotiate in that receiving the contact emails of all the guests, for sure. And so, like, for my events, I think right now it's $1,200 to speak at the Essence Fest brunch, and probably $1,200 to speak at the Atlanta conference. So for any of those ladies making that investment, if they requested from me a list of all the contact emails, of course I would give them to it because they're making a high level investment. Because ultimately, then that allows you to nurture people beyond the event. They may not have bought from you that day, but they get into your email list, or they get to, connect with you however you decide to follow up, because you could do what would really be valuable. This is so good, y'all. This should have been a real masterclass. This is good. So what would really be valuable, okay? Let's say, hypothetically, Pamela, you decide, yeah, I'm going to Essence Fest with Lily Mae. I'm going to be a speaker. I'm paying that $1,200. What would be really valuable is when I send you, did we lose Pam? Because I know this was her question. I think we lost.
Yeah, it looked like she left or must have fell off.
Yeah, let me wait for her to come back because this is her question.
Mm-hmm.
This is her question. I want to have to repeat. I know she's coming back. Well, while we're waiting, I do want to complete the thought for those catching the replay because I will lose the thought, y'all. So if you're making a higher investment to speak, and I mean over $1,000, then you should negotiate receiving the contact emails of everyone that registered. And when you receive those contact emails, don't just add them all to your email list. Like, yeah, you can add them to your email list, but also do individual follow-ups. That's going to be more impactful. Like, if I get a direct email from Lisa that spoke at this event saying, hey, Lily Mae, it was my pleasure to connect with you at the Glambitious Brunch in Essence Fest. I would love to do an Instagram live with you to introduce your business to my network. That's a great follow-up, right? This is an example, y'all, catching the replay. You don't have to do this exact thing, but I'm giving you an example of how to really nurture connections in this season and not just throw people into a blanket email newsletter sequence, which is okay to do as well, but maybe do some one-on-one follow-ups on that list. So maybe every day after the event, you follow up with 5 people directly. Invite them to something that's mutually beneficial so that you can build that connection so that eventually they do become clients and feel comfortable investing in your course, coaching, service, etc. Was that helpful, Lisa?
Yes, ma'am. It most definitely was helpful. Yeah. Everything you've shared tonight has been very helpful. Thank you so much for that.
Of course, of course. So I'm going to wrap up. We lost Miss Pamela, but I'll send her the replay so she can catch the full answer to her question. If you are catching the replay and you are one of my guest speakers for the Charlotte brunch or the New Orleans brunch, I encourage you to consider becoming a member of the Glambitious Power Circle. It's only $47 a month, and we have these monthly Zooms like this so that we can network with each other, and I can share some masterclass style content to help you uplevel your brand. So simply visit theglamceo.com to become a member and really tap in to build and nurture your community and business this way, right? And then if you're a member, okay, if you're already a member, I encourage you to consider speaking at the Glambitious All White Brunch in Essence Fest or the Atlanta conference in Atlanta, the Atlanta conference in Atlanta, y'all. It's late in the evening.